All right, now I'm going to do pattern rules. So identify how to get the next term in a pattern. So I want you to figure out what I am repeating over and over again, the operation that I'm doing. So I have 2, 6, 10, 14, and these dots just mean it's just going to go on and on. So pause if you're not sure yet. So the numbers are getting bigger, so then I know I'm either adding or multiplying, and in here I know that I'm adding, and the difference between these two numbers is 4, the difference between these two numbers is 4, and the difference between these two numbers is 4. So now I want you to see if you can find the pattern here. 5, 10, 20, and 40. So pause to see if you can figure that one out. As I move from left to right, the numbers are getting bigger, so I'm either going to multiply or add. If I'm adding from here to here, that would be plus 5. This would be plus 10 from 10 to 20, and from 20 to 40, it would be plus 20. So it makes more sense to multiply. And if I multiply 2, 5 by 2 is 10, 10 by 2 is 20, and 20 times 2 is 40, so that works out. The next pattern, 38, 35, 32, 29. All right, so pause the video and figure that out. And again, the first thing I notice is the numbers are getting smaller, so I'm either subtracting or dividing. And this, I know that I'm subtracting, and I'm subtracting by 3 each time. This number, the next one, 1024, 512, 256, 128, 64. Okay. So pause the video unless you want a quick hint. Now the hint that I would use is to start with a small number and work the other way because it makes it easier. All right. Now, if I'm starting at 64, so these numbers are clearly getting smaller, so I'm either going to divide or I'm going to subtract. 64, if I look at the 4 is half of 8, and the 6 is half of 12. If I look at the 8 here, 8 times 2 is 16. 12 times 2 is 24 plus the 1 from the 16, so that works. I have 6 times 2 is 12. 25 times 2 is 50, so plus the 1 is 512, so on and so on and so on, right? So I know I'm dividing because I went backwards and I was multiplying, so I'm dividing each time by 2. All right, make sure you're using all your tricks that you know how to use when it comes to your learning your patterns and using your strategies. All right, I am going to make a pattern by adding 5, but I want you guys to pause the video and make your own pattern. So start at whatever number you want and add 5 each time. All right, so my pattern is going to be 3, 8, 13, 18, okay, 23, I'll stop there. Okay, now you could have had many different patterns. You might have just went 5, 10, 15, 20. This is adding 5 each time. I could have started at 1, 6, 11, 16, 21. I could have started at 0. Right? So I want you to come up with a pattern rule. But just do it for mine, for now. So the pattern rule tells you how to make that pattern. Okay, so I want you to ask yourself, how was this pattern made? Okay, so this pattern, if you're saying this pattern was made by add 5 each time, does that give us all the information that we need to make that pattern? No, this rule actually applies to all of these. So if I need to repeat this pattern, okay, so I'm coding and I need to make sure that this certain pattern is repeated, I need to know where I start. Okay, so the whole rule would then be start at 3 and add 5 each time. So we're doing both of those things. So I need to make sure that I know where I start and then what I'm doing to the pattern each time. Okay, so that's it for this lesson.